All right, guys, I'm going to be real honest with you up front here. I don't really have all of the vitriol that I'm going to cough up on screen in this video. A little bit of it is going to be manufactured for show, but here's the thing. I want to use the article in question today as a jumping off point to talk about something that we don't talk about nearly enough, something that we don't appreciate nearly enough, because the way that the season I'm going to talk about ended was with a Super Bowl victory. And so the Herculean efforts executed by Patrick Mahomes go a little bit underappreciated, but this is also an excuse to kind of trash some of the mainstream media and kind of joke on someone who is an author for the mainstream media, because I don't like the mainstream media. YouTube, the internet in general, is the new media. So, in an article titled Cam Ward to Aaron Rodgers, What Could Go Right, Wrong for Every AFC QB in 2025 from Fox Sports by Henry McKenna, we get the following introduction. In the NFL, it's good to prepare for anything. No one saw the Kansas City Chiefs season coming last year, from Patrick Mahomes' poor performances to his astonishingly consistent late-game theatrics. Few saw C.J. Stroud's struggles coming. At this time last year, few would have anticipated Cam Ward going first overall in the NFL draft, or the Chargers and Justin Herbert making the playoffs. Everyone thought the Chargers were going to make the playoffs. Everyone thought they were going to win the AFC West. This article is already off to a terrible start. No one saw last season's poor performance from Patrick Mahomes coming. You mean because he didn't quite throw for 4,000 yards while taking the final week of the regular season off? Is that what you mean? Is it his lowered touchdown performance? Well, guess what? Every major quarterback, everyone in a gold jacket, had a down season from time to time. We're not going to stick here. However, we have some bigger fish to fry with this article. These surprises are what make the league so great. So let's try to spoil a few. No, I promise this will be fun. It's not going to be fun. I've gone through every AFC team and on Thursday, every NFC team, and predicted what could go right for each quarterback and what could go wrong. Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, what could go right? Mahomes goes back to being 2020 Mahomes. That's the slap in the face, but we'll get there. Back in 2020, the Kansas City offense revolved around Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill. Now, Hill is gone, and that 2020 version of Kelce is gone too. Entering his age 36 season, the 10-time Pro Bowl tight end is slowing down. This year, the Chiefs are going to build their offense around young receivers Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy, and you'll see some similarities between Kelce and Rice and Worthy and Hill. That'll give Kelce a more opportunistic role. Rookie wide receiver Jalen Royals can take over the spot Mecole Hardman once occupied. That's nonsensical. They're completely different players. And this offense can attack teams at all three levels with consistency. Now, the main thing sticking in my craw here is this. He's referring to the glory days of Patrick Mahomes as 2020 Mahomes. 5 years ago, half a decade ago. Mahomes must be in one heck of a slump. Wouldn't you know it? But, well, we don't really have to go back that far. I know this is a little bit undersized on your screen and difficult to read, so I will do my best to present these numbers audibly. 2022. That is 2 played seasons ago. The Chiefs have only played 2024 and 2023 since then. Not 2020, where you would have to go back a full 4 seasons to see the incredible Patrick Mahomes. No. Last year, Mahomes threw for 3,928 yards and 26 touchdowns. Both were career lows. Well, his touchdowns tied a career low from that 2019 season. But he also threw for 3,900 yards last season, failing to break 4,000 yards for the first time in his career. But if we go back just to 2022, this is the stat line that we see. Mahomes, who, by the way, went 14-3. Mahomes went 14-3, a 14-win season for Patrick Mahomes. At the time, it was the second of his career. It has gone on to have been second of third so far in his career as last year. They won 15 games. You want to talk about how horribly Patrick Mahomes played last year when he won 15 games. It appears that playing awful the past 2 years just means that Patrick Mahomes did not lead the league in something. However, I'm going to calm down. Going to take a step back. 2022, not 2020, 2022, Patrick Mahomes went 435 of 648, had a completion percentage of 67.1, a mark in his career that is astoundingly consistent. His second year in the league, that 2018 season, 66.0. In 2019, he hit 65.9. In 2020, 66.3, followed by exactly 66.3, 67.1 in 2022, 67.2 in 2023, and 67.5 last year. He is getting better in an amazingly consistent statistic for himself. So despite the fact that these past 2 years have been quote-unquote down years for Patrick Mahomes, he has completed over 67% of his passes both of those years and in 2022 as well, where he also threw for 5,250 yards. He threw for 5,250 yards in 2022, not 2020. He threw for 41 touchdowns in 2022 while only throwing 12 interceptions. He also had 308.8 yards per game and a 79.0 QBR. So, what are we talking about with this magical season for Mahomes? Because I think the most impressive part of it is very easily forgotten. Only so not this one, we're going to get to that part in a moment, but I think it needs to be said, only Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, and Tom Brady have ever thrown for more than 5,250 yards in a season. Each of those quarterbacks did it only once. Peyton Manning has a season more than 5,250. Drew Brees and Tom Brady each have one season more than 5,250. Peyton Manning cracked 54, nearly cracked 5,500 yards. There are only, by the way, and this is something that surprised me when I went and I checked it out because I didn't know how common this was. There are only 12 times in history that a quarterback has ever thrown more than 41 touchdowns. 12 quarterbacks. 12 quarterback seasons have thrown more than 41 touchdowns. And yes, one of them was Patrick Mahomes back in 2018 when he threw for 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns. Only 12 times has someone thrown more than 41 touchdowns. Now, when we look at these, I missed my space here. Yards, 5,250. Touchdowns, 41. Touchdown percent, 6.3. Yards per game, 308.8. And QBR, 79.0. All led the league. They are all meaningfully different statistics. Yards is just how many yards you got. Touchdowns is how many times you scored. Yards per game is a measurement of consistency, and QBR kind of takes everything into account. This was not just somebody racking up yards. This was not somebody who got hot in the red zone with a red zone target. This was not someone who went off on a couple of games and ended up doing something very, very impressive when looked at from the scope of a season. Patrick Mahomes dominated the NFL in many different categories, but notably absent. So the leading the league here is boldened, right? So those dark numbers there, those thick numbers there, are categories in which Patrick Mahomes led the league. Notably absent: attempts, 648. He did not lead the league in attempts, though he threw for more yards and touchdowns than everyone. Also, interceptions. He did not lead the league in interceptions, far and away did not lead the league in interceptions, with only 12. So he was not just racking up stats. He was doing so efficiently. But here is something we don't talk about enough. He had in that season 358 rushing yards, the third highest so far of his career, but in tandem with his passing yards, he has an NFL record for, which led to, I got the visual, I got the graphic. Patrick Mahomes has accounted for the most yards by a quarterback in a season, with 5,614 combined passing, rushing, and receiving yards in 2022. Everyone remembers the 4 100-yard receiving games that he had back then. 5,614 yards is a record, edging out Drew Brees' 5,562 yards. That is a 50-yard advantage over the next highest competitor. Notice 5,477 yards passing for Peyton Manning, 5,446 total yards. Okay. Anyway, 5,614 total yards for Patrick Mahomes was an NFL record. Now, in addition to his 41 passing touchdowns, he had 4 rushing touchdowns. So he accounted for 45 touchdowns that season and 5,600 yards. We do not talk about this enough. Patrick Mahomes does not get the credit that he deserves for running the football. Patrick Mahomes does not get the credit that he deserves for that 2022 season when he basically, we remember this, took the Kansas City Chiefs on his back that year and willed this organization to a Super Bowl victory. Now, the constant disrespect for Patrick Mahomes cannot be short-sold. Everyone in the media is tired of Patrick Mahomes. And the real shame of it is Patrick Mahomes dots his I's, Patrick Mahomes crosses his T's, Patrick Mahomes works with charities, Patrick Mahomes keeps his coat buttoned up. There is no reason for the national media to hate Patrick Mahomes other than the fact that they're tired of him. And guess what? You would be too. If he weren't the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, you would be too. The NFL community suffered for 20 years under the reign of terrible Tom Brady. And now they have putrid Patrick Mahomes to worry about for quite some time yet. It has been less than a decade that Patrick Mahomes has been in the NFL, though it is creeping up on that decade mark. Believe it or not, whether you want to feel it or not, Patrick Mahomes is coming up on 10 years in the NFL shortly. And there is seemingly plenty of great football yet to be had for Patrick Mahomes and this Kansas City Chiefs franchise. That's it. That's all I wanted to do. I wanted to complain a little bit about the media and complain a little bit about the fact that none of us talk about the wonderful 2022 season from Patrick Mahomes. Nearly enough, 5,614 total yards. If you like or appreciate what it is that I do here, hitting a like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other Kansas City Chiefs fans. If you find yourself here by chance but not design, the Chiefs are the only thing I talk about on this channel, dropping multiple videos every single week. And as always, I hope to have you back for the next one.